Hello everyone, welcome to CliCli. Today we are going to learn a basic concept in triggers, variable. Clint collects all the dimensional stones and fixes the portal successfully. How do we achieve this effect in the game? Variable is a symbolic name associated with a value that may be changing, like someone's weight or age. It is like a warehouse where specific data can be stored. To classify the information with different scope, variables can be divided into global variables and local variables. For example, Tom's weight is like a local variable that is only controlled and recorded by himself, and its change will not influence other people's weight. On the other hand, Earth's name is like a global variable. If it changes to Earth02, everyone needs to update the knowledge of how to call our planet. This is a difference of scope. In CliCli, local variables are only valid and can be used in the current trigger, while global variables can be applied generally in all triggers and can be called in all statements. In addition, when we create a new variable, the name of the variable cannot be duplicated. When set a new variable, we need to declare the variable type, which decides the type of data it can store. Common variable types include Boolean, true or false, integer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and other integer numbers, float, such as 4.63, 5.00, string. A string is an array of characters composed of numbers, letters, and symbols. Text that we see in the games are the type of string. Once the variable type is defined, the variable cannot store other types. For example, if we create an integer variable age, then it will be able to store data like 32, 73, but it won't accept values like Thomas or 45.66. When we use variables to perform mathematical operations or to splice variables, the type of variables involved in the operation or combination must be the same. For example, we can add 1 to an integer variable to calculate a new integer value, but we can't use integer variable plus hello for calculation. Now, let's use the function of variables to achieve the effect of stone collection. Step 1. Edit the terrain. First, we need to create a custom item of the dimensional stone. Open Object Editor. Select Items. New Object to create a new object. We name the new item Stone. Click the Switch button to find a stone-like model for it. We can also change the icon here. Click Create to confirm. Now, we can see the item Stone in the folder Custom. Select Stone in Display. We can preview the model and modified scale here. Go back to the map. It's time to place the dimensional stones we just created. Pay attention to the spacing. Don't place them too close. Step 2. Create the trigger. The key of this trigger is to create an integer variable to record the number of stones Clint gets. When Clint picks up the first stone, we create a variable and set the variable to 1. When he picks up the second, the third one, we set the variable to increase by 1. Let's create a new trigger and set the event. Select Item. Unit gains item, that is, Clint gets the stones. Then we need to add actions. The first action is setting variable. We need to create a global variable num to represent the number of stones. The name of the variable can be customized, and the type is integer. The initial value of the variable defaults to 0. To achieve the effect of accumulation, we need to use the function of mathematical operations between integers. The first parameter integer is the variable num. The arithmetic operator is plus, and the second parameter integer is value 1. In this way, every time Clint gains an item, this trigger will take effect once and the variable num will increase by 1. In order to improve the user experience, we want to display the text of number of stones collected to players. The variable type of text is string, so we create a new variable prompt of type string. As we want to store the information number of stones num, we need to use the function string splice. The first part of the string number of stones can be entered as value directly, but the variable num is an integer type variable. Remember that when we use variables to perform mathematical operations or to splice variables, the types of variables involved in the operation or combination must be the same. Therefore, we need an extra step here. Use the function convert any variables to string to convert the integer variable num to string. Now the two parts of prompt can call of type string and can be displayed in the game. Lastly, use UI to display the information to player. Select UI, Scene UI, create floating text. Set it to display at the point of hero's coordinates, to be visible to all players in Faction 1. With format of system font. We can go to Details, Art Style to see all the formats of combat text. The content is the string variable prompt. The trigger is done. Let's enter the game and test the effect. Now, it's time to review what we learned today. Variable is a symbolic name associated with a value that may be changing. Different types of variables can store different types of data. Variables can be divided into local variables and global variables. Local variables can only be applied in a single trigger, while global variables can be applied generally in all triggers. Common types of variables include Boolean, integer, float, string, and so on. In today's video, we use the types of integer and string to achieve the game effect. Next video, we'll learn about if statements. See you next time.